Well, good morning, everyone, and grab your beverage of choice. I today have some mint tea, but get your coffee, get your hot tea, get whatever, and let's do our Wednesday walkabout. Today, we're going to go down the side of the house and get a glimpse into the backyard because that is starting to really evolve. It's still a work in progress. Nevertheless, we've gotten a whole lot done. A few glimpses at some things going on in the front yard. Stuart, if you don't mind, if you could just kind of bend down like this and look at how much purple there is. And all the bees are as happy as we are this morning. So all of that purple explosion is really looking great and doing just what I had hoped it would do, as are some little seedlings that I planted along the perimeter of the social patio. So sometimes there's a look that I want to create, and one of them is a border of whatever that has lots of Alchemilla mollis or lady's mantle, which is this beautiful green and chartreuse color that kind of spills over the edge. Well, I cannot grow it very well here, but I can grow golden feverfew. And boy, it took a long time to germinate this year, but I did sprinkle some seeds along the patio, so it will, when it grows, it will kind of cascade over the edge. And look at how many seedlings I finally have. And by the way, no weed is too small to go ahead and pick while you are doing your morning rounds. And I think it'll be really, really pretty. I've got some lemon thyme here that my friend Chelsea, who's now in Germany, Stuart.
Crazy.
Chelsea gave me, and I love it. And I will love all of this little feverfew spilling over the edge. And that is my question of the day. Are you guys familiar with golden feverfew? I saved a lot of the seed from the last house and I was concerned it wasn't viable, but indeed it was, and I planted a bunch of it around here. I think the tufts of it will look really sweet with the residents of the Boxwood Village, and I also planted some of it along the brick line of the upper terrace. But let's get to the side and to the back, Stuart, because I want to show some new things that I am getting ready to plant and my vision for how I hope it will look. So I think I told you that I wanted to plant a rose to grow up and over this doorway, and so it shall eventually. I'm going to put some guide wires in place so that it can perfectly surround, and I'll probably have it kind of climb up this seam here. But I'll put some guide wire in place, and hopefully without too much delay, it will get big enough to really grow up and over. And what am I growing, you may ask? So I am growing an Eden rose, and I'll let you get a close-up of that, Stuart, while I go and show you the source. So this was a Mother's Day gift to myself. I got it from Heirloom Roses. And I have grown Eden in the past. It reminds me a little bit of Constant Spry. It's kind of a pale pink with really large, old-fashioned roses that almost have kind of a peony look to them, but they're really, really beautiful. Heirloom Roses is a place that I have ordered before. They are out of Oregon. I've been really thrilled with their the quality of the things that they send, and it's going to be stunning when it grows up and over. I got just one, and I'm kind of wishing now that I had gotten two, but nevertheless, maybe I'll get another one later. So that one will get in the ground, and I kept it in its packaging so I could show you how it arrives. And it comes encased in plastic so none of the soil will spill out. But look at how healthy that is. There's no sign of black spot or anything. And once I get it in the ground, I think it will grow pretty rapidly. It's hard for me to tell now or give you a real gauge on how quickly I think it will grow, because at my other house I had established roses and they just took off, every year almost immediately. But it will be a test for me, and then I will definitely follow the instructions on how to plant my rose. And this is in an area where it will get enough sun and lots of air circulation. So I think that pink will be absolutely gorgeous. And then I'm going to accompany it with some of this Taiga clematis from Southern Living. This one has a little bloom on it. Looks like some creatures have been eating on it. But I will plant this in tandem along with it so it can climb up the rose canes. And over time, I think it will be really, really beautiful. So going down the side path, we made some changes in the design when we saw that it wouldn't require quite as much leveling as we originally thought. Now, along Autumn's Edge, I wanted to continue a little bit, or from Autumn Edge, I wanted to continue a little bit with these Obsession Nandina, so that this ribbon of purple continued in this area, and then it even jumped the walkway and spilled over onto the other side of the steps. And I like the way that looked. And eventually, it won't look so pixelated as everything begins to grow together. It won't look so busy, which is something that I am anxious for. So in short order, all of these better boxwoods, I think, will grow together into a beautiful green mound. Here's another example of what I'm talking about. Like right now, it looks very busy with these Encore azaleas. I believe these are carnation in pink. So right now it looks very busy over here, but imagine, if you will, when all of these Encore azaleas grow together and there's a little triangle over here of boxwood that have grown together, and then this Oakland holly will be here and very statuesque, and then the rose will climb over. So right now it looks busy, but that's partly because things have not grown together.
Hey,
now,
you want to snap me down here so they can have a better view of it?
Okay, well, let's just do that. Does that give everybody a better vantage point?
It does.
So as you can see, this is very, very incomplete. A couple of observations that you guys have made. So did I decide not to plant two trees down between the sidewalk and the street, flanking the walkway that comes up the stairs? And indeed, I changed my mind. I decided not to plant anything there. I liked the kind of clean open space. And also, over time, these Oakland hollies will get huge, at least they are in my imagination. And this will give more than enough anchoring to this area and enough visual weight, and I think will be really beautiful, especially over the holidays and in the winter time. Now, one thing that I am kind of dissatisfied with, and that I'll probably change, is when I walk from this way and when I walk from this way. I really don't like two conical elements right next to each other. So I've got these gorgeous gardenias, diamond spire gardenias from Southern Living Plants, and they are gorgeous. And oh my goodness, when they're in bloom, the smell that wafts over the patio is incredible. However, they are conical in form, as are the hollies, and I don't really like that. So probably I will do something. It'd be easier for me to change out the contents of the pots. So I'll probably be doing that. I'm not sure when. because I want more of a contrast in form. And that may be a seasonal thing that I decide to change out and maybe put some annual color in there or something. And then pretty soon, hopefully, these boxwoods, these are baby gem boxwoods, again from Southern Living, they will grow up. They will be great big balls here. And there will be a lot more structure and a lot more weightedness to this area. Now, this is very exciting to me. Now, we know that encores are reblooming. These, because they came and they were just such beautiful specimens of a shrub. But look here, this is Moonlight, and I've got a white bud on it. So imagine, if you will, once again, when all of these azaleas get big and look as if they are just in this white reblooming hedge in spring and in fall along this walkway. And then behind them, there will be these moon dance white hydrangeas, which I have made a note in my garden journal, and Stuart, here would be a place to put my garden journal, which you guys can pre-order. And thank you so much for those of you who have pre-ordered, because it really, really helps sales, and it helps me, and it helps kind of get the word out. I cannot wait for mine to arrive. But one thing I would note in my garden journal is that these are just fine, but in contrast to other hydrangeas, they are budding out very slowly. Now, I'm going to note that so that next year, when they begin to green up and it is very slow, I won't freak out and think that they're dead. They are just tardy. Now, I misspoke. This is another place, Stuart, where we have to have that Linda makes a mistake kind of thing. And that is, I don't know why, I had Leland cypress on the brain. I was talking to someone about them that day, and I incorrectly identified these as Leland cypress. They look very much like them. These are an arborvita, a Thuja occidentalis, and they will get 15 to 20 feet tall. I really want a soft evergreen hedge right here, and they too will kind of grow together. I also like them because I love them as cut greenery. Now, originally, these were part of the original landscape when we bought the house. I wasn't sure if I was going to keep them or not, but I'm really glad that I did, because now that we've gotten a lot of rain, they're coming out beautifully. Now, what I hope that they will do is they will grow, I'm going to say another 4 feet, and then I'm going to probably start to gently top them out and keep them at that level, because I don't want them to get too tall and obscure the windows, but it will give me a little bit more privacy indoors. And I think then that this will be beautiful all in white, and it will transition from one white shrub to another. Something else that I don't know that I pointed out to you when we were doing the irrigation work is there is no water on this side of the cottage. And so I had Kayla and Fernando put in a pump here, so I do have access to water and I don't have to lug a hose all the way around. And some of you have asked, do I still love that metal hose, that lightweight metal hose? Absolutely love it. I couldn't bring my giraffe hose reels here. It didn't work on this house because of the location of the spigots. So these have been the next best thing. They are absolutely wonderful. Again, I'll put a link below. Originally, we thought we were going to have metal edging like this that would brace and hold in some soil so we could level this out. But we realized that that wasn't really necessary, that easily I could put in some stepping stones. Stuart, they're really on grade, aren't they? They don't feel as if they're going downhill.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, so they're easy to navigate. There are small sections of grass up here, but with just a weed eater or with my little reel mower and an edger, then a string edger, then I can easily keep this grass in shape. And once it greens up, I just kind of like the busyness of that and then coming to the calm of this. Some of you have asked, and I will be doing it, When I'm going to be pruning up the Chinese snowball viburnum more into a shrub form or into a tree form, and I'll be doing that, but I'm not going to do it for a little while. I want to let it photosynthesize with as much foliage on it as possible right now. I know my buddy Jim at HortTube, he did a video recently on it, and I'll be doing that later, but for right now, I think it's just fine. And I even got some blooms this season. And I think with all of this rain, there's lots of new growth on it. I think it'll grow pretty rapidly. Now, the next issue that I want to address here is this area here and how abrupt, kind of treacherous and unattractive it looks. So here's how I think I'm going to tackle that. I planted, and by the way, this is another lesson in don't give up on plants prematurely. I got in a whole bunch of Oakland hollies from Southern Living, and most of them did just fine, but some of them I think were stressed in transit or maybe because of the cold, and a lot of them turned brown and dropped a lot of their leaves. But I got them in the ground anyway. I'll do a little bit of pruning on them, but look at all of the new growth that's coming out. And so by the end of the season, I feel certain that this will be solid in all of its evergreen glory and will make a nice punctuation point here on the corner. And yes, I will have to do a little bit of trimming on it to keep it off of the path and off of the wall, but I am willing to do that. Okay, here's another situation where a little bit of weeding when you see them is not a bad thing. So some of you asked about little pieces of Bermuda and weeds that I have in place and how am I going to address those. Well, as part of my morning rounds, and I will show you exactly what I do in my morning rounds, I keep a bottle of, in fact, I use that Centurion, remember Stuart, that Centurion battery operated sprayer, and I keep that with some horticultural strength vinegar in it that I add a little bit of dye to, and then I spray it, and that lets me know where I have sprayed and where I have not sprayed, and to see how effective it is. So as part of my morning rounds and to stay on top of things, it really doesn't take me that long to do just a quick sweep. If I don't do it in the morning, I can do it later in the afternoon. So beyond the Oakland holly, I have 3 of these wonderful Terra hydrangeas, oak leaf hydrangeas that I know are hard to find, and as soon as I get more information on where they can be located and when they're available online, I will let you know. This is that
Boy, we
gorgeous.
think the same. I was headed in to do that.
You were heading in to do that?
Good job.
Full sun to part shade. This is east exposure, so I think it'll be fine. In the heat of the day, they may suffer a little bit, but then everything in Oklahoma in the heat of the day suffers. So, in keeping with my white garden thematic along here, what I'm going to do is in the corners and then eventually along the length, I'm going to plant some hellebores. I've got some here from my friend Gail, and then I had so many at my other house. I dug up a tuft of them, and I will plant them 2 big tufts at the corner, and then they will rapidly go to seed along the edges. Hellebores, once you get them established, they go to seed very easily, and it's a wonderful gift to share with others. Gail probably, I imagine I can go and I can dig some more up. And then I might have something like some white asters, or I'm not really sure. These are some starts that my friend Carolina Elizabeth gave me, and I'm not sure. These are an aster violet So I might allow just a little bit of lavender to come through here. I might plant those along the edge, but I think it will really be beautiful. And I might even in the fall plant some white chrysanthemums. I'm not sure. What do you think, Stuart?
Good.
So what do you guys think? He's going, yeah, yeah.
I'm trying to stay balanced over here.
You're just trying to stay balanced over here while you're holding a camera. A lot of you asked once again what my ratio for this mulch was, and it's pretty much, it's not exact. I'm a gardener, not an accountant, but I would say it's probably a 50-50 ratio of just the pea gravel, the earth naturals that you can get at Lowe's or from wherever, and that wonderful Happy Grow mix that I also get at Lowe's. So when we put it down, it was about 50-50, and I love the way it looks. And again, I like it because things germinate in it very, very quickly. So if I can stay on top of the weeds and get some things started in here, I can also see how pretty some white alyssum would look, though it's getting too hot for that now. But at any rate, you guys can tell that I am thinking white. A little bit of Vita Sackville West at Sissinghurst. So I'm thinking about white. So then it's just kind of calm here. And then there's another Oakland holly here. And again, this will be that rhythm and repetition of beautiful evergreen hollies up and down this space, which I think will be beautiful. I planted this to the side of the window so it wouldn't obstruct the view. And then we have this kind of awkward drainage thing here. So we did a little brick throw rug. And I think it will be fine. And if you're not using a camera, it's very easy to walk on. If you are, Stuart has to kind of watch his feet. So you'll notice that I did put down flagstone along the edge. There are a couple more pieces of the pavers down here, and I will use those. I have to kind of get a shovel and dig those up, and I will use those as stepping stones in the front. And some of you were chastising me rightly for stepping on the soil and compacting it in the last one because I hadn't yet gotten more stepping stones. And so I have more now. I bought some more at Lowe's. I can buy 8 at a time. I've decided that's the threshold that I can carry in dot and that I can carry myself and lift and heave. So coming back here, you'll notice not a lot has been done, though it's a little tidier maybe. And I'm still thinking through this. So there are some low areas back here, and whenever I dig out dirt from another source to plant something, I am just spreading it around in the back so I can get this more level. I am doing that. And I'm just kind of playing around with different, I'm moving the furniture here, I'm moving them there. I'll be potting up some things pretty soon. But I'm just kind of wanting to get my gardening feng shui back here. And so
you got to do that dance one more time. There we go.
My feng shui dance. So I'm thinking about that. Now, here's another question of the day for you. I still have not gotten my garden shed. Again, so many of you have asked for the link, and I will put that link below. I think it's going to be adorable. And in my mind, I just kept seeing it over there. But then I realized I'll be building a surround to the air conditioner, and that could be kind of a busy area. And then I thought, well, what I really want is for it to be easily accessible from both the front and the back. So here's my thinking and my question for you, and that is, I'm thinking it would be really cute to have maybe right here and build a brick throw rug, a brick foundation for it, and have it right here. And that way I could easily just come around up here, get what I needed. I'm back here, I can get what I need. And I think it would be nice to fill up this space. And again, I'll stain it to match the color of of the trim. What do you think, Stuart?
I like it, yeah.
You like that idea? So that's what I'm thinking about now. It hasn't even arrived yet. We have a little bit of a delay, which I'm not that unhappy about, but Manuel, who did such a brilliant job on all of the concrete work in the front, he will be doing the back steps, and he's on a big job right now and won't be finished until probably September. So I think what I'm gonna do is just, in my head, just kind of think through this, start doing some preemptive things. For example, we're going to take out some of the grass. You can see here my full bucket right here. I don't have good pitch to my gutter, and so it doesn't drain correctly, and that will be a mosquito magnet. I shouldn't tell Stuart.
Yeah.
Stuart just cringed. So we've got to have the pitch to that corrected. I'm still not sure about a greenhouse. I'm just not trying to think about it right now. But I do love kind of the vibe that I'm getting with just the topiaries and the geraniums over here. And over here, I've got the dragon wing begonias, just kind of green. So I'm thinking through that. I love your guys, the ideas that you have given me for this wall right here.
I'll get you there, hold on.
And that, some of your ideas were a climbing rose, an espalier, a beautiful Japanese maple just right here in the corner that kind of flanks both sides. So I'm thinking through that and trying not to be premature about some of my decisions. And I'm going to get a little feedback from my son Johnny, who's going to be here at the end of the week. Now that the trees have really filled out, Hubs and I will practice sitting out here with a little fire pit and things and see where it feels most cozy. Now, I had originally said that I was going to take out this crepe myrtle. I don't know if I am or not, but one thing I definitely am going to do is wait and see what color it is when it blooms, because I have no idea what color it is. So I will wait till it blooms, but one thing for sure I know that I'm going to do, at least for this season, and I will do it for you in a video, but I'm going to clean it out and limb it up so it looks much more elegant. It looks much more like a small tree. And it might beautifully frame something, I'm not sure what. And then over there is just still just a mess. Sometimes things don't get moved around because they are just too heavy for me to move myself, and I need help. Even with my two-wheeler, I can't always do it. And some of these things are very, very heavy. So, but we'll be definitely making some moves back here, and I will of course share it with you. For example, some things that are too heavy for me to move right now are these gorgeous topiary encore azaleas. And you'll notice that I've just got them over here. This is kind of a shady area because I'm just wanting for them to get established in their pots, and you can see that they're putting on lots of new growth before they go to any kind of permanent position. And then these, of course, are the steps that I have told you before will get rebuilt and rethought out, and then when all that gets done, then I'll decide on where my composter is going to go, exactly where the grill will go, yada, yada, yada. So, Stuart, what do you think? Is that a walkabout?
It's a pretty good walkabout.
Explanatory walkabout. You can see I've still got some hydrangeas that need to get in the ground. Oh, I do want to show you this. Look here. Figs on my Little Miss Figgy. And I'll put a link to Little Miss Figgy in the box below, description box below. If you're not sure, look, if you're not sure how to access the links, watch Stuart's video on where to find the description in the description box and the links. Look at this massive, massive pot of hydrangeas over here.
Whoa.
Yeah, aren't they just incredible? So I need to get those in the ground. And just lots of things. I need to get in the ground and get going. But I think we've made tremendous progress, and I am pretty thrilled. So there is your Wednesday walkabout. Go get a refill of your coffee. I'm going to do a little bit of pruning today and do a couple of plant makeovers, and I think that will be fun. And then a little bit later today, here's a tease for in the future, we're going to go visit my friend Roger at his pottery studio. So there you go. Happy Wednesday, you guys.